All right, guys, we've got our mini preview and our season win total predictions for the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is episode 15 as we go through the entire NFL, almost halfway there. And here we are in Jacksonville, over under at 9.5, minus 150 to the over, plus 122 to the under. We're going to go with the under here for Jacksonville, under 9.5 at plus 122. Let's jump into the team and take a look. Coaching stays the same. Doug Peterson is a good coach. He's going to call plays on offense. Press Taylor help him out, but, same thing. Mike Caldwell will continue to call the defense. Coaching stays the same. It's a good coach, top 10 type of coach here in Doug Peterson. And then we move into the roster. Trevor Lawrence, of course, the main focus of the offense. He took a pretty big step last year. He played well, but he still has his moments that he'll have to clean up. Obviously, the first half of that Charger game, 4 interceptions in the first half, that sort of stuff. He still goes through some weird things where I'm not fully on board with him being like a top 5 QB. So I still think he needs to take another step this year. And this offense has lost a lot of pieces, or the team as a whole has lost pieces. So he'll need to elevate himself to get back to where they were last year. And then he's sitting behind an offensive line that is problematic. Jawan Taylor leaves in free agency at left tackle. They draft Anton Harrison. I think Walker Little is going to play left tackle and Harrison right tackle until Cam Robinson comes back from his 4-game suspension, which is problematic as well. Walker Little really didn't play particularly well last year. He'll need to take a big step. Harrison was seen more as a project. We'll see, but as a project, you don't want him starting right away, and it looks like he might. And then in the middle, they just didn't play particularly well, and as a whole, they're going to have to step up if this offensive line is going to be anything. If the interior of this line plays like they did last year and the tackles are all messed up to start the year, this could be the worst line for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL season. So problematic there. Running back room, I kind of like it. I like ETN. He's a good runner. I'm not sure if he's an every down dominant running back, but he's a good runner, and I like him. Depth is also really nice. There are a lot of players here I like. Tank Bigsby, of course, gets drafted, but then Dearness Johnson, someone I like from Cleveland, and then Jermichael Hasty is someone who's flashy as well. So the depth is good. ETN is good. It's a good room, and pretty deep. Wide receiver room. This gets a lot of buzz because of Calvin Ridley. We'll see what he's all about. His training camp stuff looks pretty good so far, but we won't know until he's in pads playing football. It's been a long time since he's played. A lot of people know he was suspended last year, but he also, the year before, he missed almost the whole season. So it's been a long time since he's played football, so we'll see. Christian Kirk is someone I like. Zay Jones, also solid enough. The depth after that, it's not great. But if the top 3 are healthy and Calvin Ridley steps back into his form, it's a good wide receiver room, to say the least. Tight end room gets a nice jump because Engram played really well last year. As a Giants fan, we always saw the potential with Engram. He just had too many drops. But he took it up another step last year, and that's what happens with tight ends in general. Year 3, year 4, year 5 is when they take those jumps, and he took his jump, and he'll hope to keep that up. His backup, I guess, I believe it's Strange, so, whatever at backup, but Engram is a good tight end when healthy, and he can line up in a variety of different places because he's so athletic. Then we get to the defense. Defensive line, it's okay. Interior, Devon Hamilton, Robertson Harris, they're both pretty solid. They're pretty solid pass rushers, and they need to kind of make up because the rest of the interior, Fatukasi, I guess, he's getting worse every year, it feels like, and the obvious weakling, but he's going to play snaps, so it's problematic, I guess. Edge, Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker are a pretty good pair. Trayvon showed flashes last year, and he'll need to take that step and really push on this year. Josh Allen he's just good, and it's as simple as that. But depth behind them also kind of lacking after Arden Key goes and nobody comes in, and that's been the problem with most of this roster where players have left. Nobody big has come in. It's just been backups from last year stepping into those positions, and it's going to be problematic, I feel like. But nobody to really step in there depth-wise should Trayvon Walker or Josh Allen go down or just not play well. So there's potential here for this unit to just fall apart. Linebacker room, it's okay. Devin Lloyd was a rookie last year. Oluokun and Muma were pretty good last year too, and they were good run defenders. They were both, or all three were solid run defending. Pass defense, really bad. Just as a unit, Devin Lloyd was, I think it's just pass coverage yards given up was like 4th worst in the NFL. This is sort of what happened to him at Utah as well. First couple of years, really bad in pass coverage, but the year he got drafted, he took that step and was really good. Maybe it just takes him a little bit to grasp just pass defense in general as he steps up from level to level. So maybe he'll take a step forward in this year coming, but as a unit, they're going to have to take a step forward in the pass defense. Otherwise, they're going to get eaten over the middle again. And then the secondary, Tyson Campbell took a step last year. He'll hope to take another step and continue growing. And then Darius Williams was really nice in the slot, another solid player there, but that's kind of where it ends. Herndon, really bad, and he's going to play again. And then Cisco and Jenkins at safety. They're ball hockey, so they kind of get picks sometimes, but overall coverage grade was really bad. So that's just what happens when you ball hawk. So they're going to need to get better in coverage. They let up a lot deep last year, so it's not a great unit. It's as simple as that. It's just not a good unit. It's bottom 10. Tyson Campbell will need to step up. Williams will need to step up. And then the other three, safeties, they're just going to have to cover better, maybe hold back on the ball hawking a little bit just for some extra coverage, but it's not a great unit all around. So there are a lot of problem spots in this roster. It's just as simple as that. Players who have left, Arden Key, Jawan Taylor, nobody's come in to replace those guys really, and it's going to be problematic. It's just as simple as that. But there are some units I really like. Wide receiver room, running back room, tight end room. The skill position guys are solid, good. And linebacker room has potential, but there's some bad spots. But we can look at the schedule now. At Indianapolis, Kansas City, Houston, Atlanta, at Buffalo to start off the season. So two games in the division to start the year off. None of these division games are gimmies. They never have been. No, doesn't happen in really any division. You don't go into too many divisions and there are gimmies anywhere really, but they're favored in all 6. I'd be stunned if they won 6. I wouldn't be surprised if this split 3-3. But 2 to start, 1 on the road to start is going to be tough, especially because you're not going to see a lot of Richardson at all. So it's going to be completely new defensively. Then Kansas City smacked in the middle. That's tough. And then Atlanta, at Buffalo, Indianapolis, at New Orleans, at Pittsburgh before the bye. That's a really tough stretch. You get Atlanta, who are tough, and then 3 road games with a division game in the middle, at Buffalo, at New Orleans, at Pittsburgh right before the bye. Those are 3 tough ones. And then their toughest stretch probably the 49ers out of the bye, Tennessee, at Houston, more division games, and then Cincinnati, at Cleveland, and then Baltimore at home. They're getting a lot of their big games at home, which I really don't like for wins and losses. So it's going to be problematic there. And then at Tampa, Carolina, and at Tennessee to end the year. So it's not an easy schedule. There are no gimmies on this schedule, and there are tough ones all over the place. At Pittsburgh, at Buffalo, Kansas City, San Francisco, Cincinnati, at Cleveland, Baltimore, all in a row. There are really tough games here. You can see a world where they win like 2 of those, go 2-4, and you split the rest. They're all kind of splitty, and you're under 9.5 pretty comfortably. So that's where we're going, under 9.5 at +122, and we'll have team number 16 tomorrow.